Well, today we're going to dive in a little bit into the CrossFit Games Open, something that me and you are running for our gym in a competitive sense for teams. We're going to talk about some funny stories we had in the past and just some great things about the Open in general. Welcome back, everybody, to Mish Men Podcast. Once again, you're here with me, Dustin Labar, my partner in crime, to my direct and immediate left, Mr. Adam Mauser.
Hello, everybody.
I hope you guys enjoyed last week's podcast, did your research like Adam asked you, and are completely informed on a lot of the things that are going on. And if you're not, that's okay. You still have time. You can still, after this episode's over, you can go and do some research or go back and listen to last week's again.
While you work out.
And it was a good discussion last week.
Yeah.
It was a great discussion. So today, me and Adam are doing something a little special in the upcoming weeks. And that special thing is we are going to be leading CrossFit Invigorate in the CrossFit Open.
I'm excited too about that.
So basically, to give you guys a little bit of backstory, every year there is a CrossFit Open. If you don't do CrossFit, if you do CrossFit, just bear with me while I explain it to people that don't. Every year there's a CrossFit Open. It's been going on since 2011. I think it's 2011. It looks a lot different than it used to. It's a little bit different of a setup. But typically and historically, gyms try to do something a little special to keep everybody, to get people motivated, to get people to sign up, and into the gym and excited.
Right. And the value of signing up is, at first I kind of like, I'm not interested in that. But you can track your progress from year to year and see how you've improved in certain skills and certain barbell movements and that sort of thing. So it's really, really good. I enjoy it.
Yep. And it does the tracking for you. You don't have to figure it out. So you can see what they're probably going to retest a workout. You can see if you're fitter. You're going to see where you stack up against people in your age group and your division. Right.
And it's an open, so anybody can do it.
Everybody can do it. Yeah. Everybody and anybody should do it if you do CrossFit. Yeah. You don't have to, but you should. So gyms typically do something to keep people motivated, to get a little bit more enjoyment or get people to sign up. In the years past in CrossFit Invigorate, we've done teams of 4 teams that basically compete against each other in the Open.
For bragging rights. Maybe a bet was laid on.
There was a bet about some tattoos that happened.
Yeah, that's right.
If you ask the Reaching for the Bars cast, there's only one of us that doesn't have a spider tattoo, and it's this guy.
I was on that team.
Yeah, you were on the winning team?
I was on the winning team every year so far.
Undefeated. So you're not doing it this year either.
I'm not doing it this year because you and I are running it.
That's
so
right.
I'm going to go out on top. I'm a little old.
You should retire. Just retire undefeated.
That's right.
You can't be beat.
In this gym.
Part
of a team.
So let's talk a little bit about the CrossFit Open, and then we'll explain like what has been done in the past. So CrossFit Open, it used to be 5 weeks, which, to be honest with you, as somebody that was competitive back then when they were doing it, 5 weeks doesn't seem like a lot, one workout for 5 weeks, but it was brutal.
It's an all-out workout,
because you were given everything you have. So basically, if you were trying to be competitive in CrossFit to make the next step, now it's changed over the years. It was open sectionals, regionals, then it was open regionals, and now it's open quarterfinals, semifinals. So it's changed what the path forward is, but it's all the same essentially. So what would happen is they would release the workout on Thursday. So CrossFit would say week 1, 7 p.m., I think 7 or 8 p.m. They release the workout for that week. So the scores have to be in Monday by, the same time, 7 or 8 p.m. So basically what would happen is you would hear the workout, and then you had a couple options. A, you do it right when it's released to get your first go at it. Because if you're a competitive athlete,
you're going to do it multiple times.
You're trying to do it multiple times.
Right.
So let's just, for argument's sake and to explain the story, you did it Friday morning because you heard the workout. Usually some people will do it as soon as it's announced just for fun, which is a very fun part of it. So let's say you did it Friday. Well, let's say you didn't like your score. So you may want to be like, did it hurt me enough? Can I do it again Saturday? Do I have to wait till Sunday?
Right.
Now, if you do it Saturday, you're still not happy with your score. You got to take a day off. Now you're doing it Monday. You're trying to do it Monday afternoon before. So it's a very stressful time. Like we have a very competitive athlete, Mary Helen, that goes to our gym. Kyle, her husband, listens to our podcast all the time. He's actually the best coach / cheerleader / anything you could ask for. Every time he's at a competition, he's awesome. So,
but we need him cheering for us during the podcast, Kyle.
Behind us, like telling us what to do.
Kind of like that guy on the Tom Green show, just drinking coffee.
Oh,
and then like, making remarks.
Yeah, like, nice, Adam. Yeah. So, Kyle, if you're looking for a job that doesn't pay, we got you.
You can intern.
Yeah, you can intern coffee drink. That's pretty sweet. Just hang out.
Yeah.
So Mary Helen is still going through that stress. I stopped it a couple years ago. I haven't had to do it like that, but I hear it's a stressful time.
Even I redid a workout last year because I knew I could do a little better on something. I think it was the wall walks, thrusters, double unders, I think. And I redid it on Monday because I was like, I know I can do better.
Yeah. I'm saying this as like from a competitive athlete's point of view to show how bad it can be for a week, but also even somebody that's not like Uber, has no desire to go to the next stage, there still is a competitive side of against yourself or others where it makes you want to do it again.
Right. Because you see your scores and you see where you stack up in your age group or just worldwide.
Yeah, and all of a sudden
everybody.
You're like, man, I was in the top 15% in the first workout. Oh, I need to try to get that again in the second workout.
Yeah.
So it becomes like a little bit, even if you don't have a lot invested, it becomes a little bit of a fun stress. It's a stress, but it's a fun stress.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So
because you should be just competing against yourself.
Yes, correct.
Right.
So, if you're taking this super seriously, so let's say you do it 2 or 3 times, Monday's your last go. Well, you're probably exhausted because these are full out efforts.
Yeah.
They are not
the 3-part workouts generally.
Well, no, that's not true. They can be like, some of them are 2 parts, some of them are just 1 AMRAP, some of them are whatever. It just depends on what the workout. Like sometimes they'll have the workout and the strength. It just depends on the week.
Yeah.
But you give such a hard effort. It's not unlike if I told you to go run an 800 as hard as you possibly could, you probably have to take 3 days off.
Right.
And that's maybe 3 minutes. So then Tuesday rolls around. You just did a workout as hard as you could 3 times in a row, back to back to back. Now you need a break. So you take Tuesday off, you do something light, you get a day back in the gym, and then boom, Thursday's rolling around.
Right.
And you do that for 5 weeks. So by the end of the 5 weeks, you're like,
you're exhausted.
I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
So what they did was they switched it to 3 weeks, which I think is a far superior format.
It is, especially for an open.
Yeah, and I think you can achieve the same goals.
Because all they're trying to do in that open is sort out who's going to go to basically the invitationals.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. Like 5 weeks sorted it out, but I don't think it doesn't sort it out in 3 weeks. I think, I think typically by the 3rd week, you kind of have an idea where you stand.
Yeah.
So it could be the same thing. And the cream always rises to the top. So
yes,
it's
both.
Just, and the crop. Yeah. So that's a little bit about that. So the workouts I should talk about, they're a test of fitness, and they're supposed to be a test of general fitness. If you ask me, they've lost a little bit of that over the past couple of years. I don't think it's necessarily a test of general fitness. Like I'll use Mabry as an example. Mabry from Reaching for the Bars podcast is probably one of the pound for pound strongest people I know.
Yeah, that dude is strong.
And he doesn't get to showcase that necessarily in the open. He's generally as a person fit, but not, as fit as some of these other guys in like just straight conditioning. But if they threw a barbell in 2 out of the 3 workouts, he's probably going to beat most of the people.
Yeah.
So I don't believe it's a test of general fitness. I think it's a test of just work capacity, like general work capacity, like how hard can I breathe for how long, essentially.
Yeah. Cardiovascular fitness.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. That's what I was searching for.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's perfect. If Kyle was here, he'd be like cardiovascular fitness. So it's 3 weeks. They have workouts. They range anywhere from the shortest one I've ever been a part of, I think, is probably 7 minutes. The longest, 20 minutes. That's typically that range. So
that's
you're looking
a long
7
time.
20. 7 to 20. 20 when you're trying to give it your all is a long time to try to give it your all.
And it's hard to gauge sometimes. You come out of the gate. It was a couple of opens ago, and it was wall walks, dumbbell snatches, and box get-overs, I think, or box overs.
Yes, I remember it well.
I remember you watching me, and I was like, you were cheering me on. That's what's nice about the gym environment, because everybody's cheering you on.
Yep.
And the wheels came off like very early on. I did the wall walks, and I was doing the snatches, and you could tell, Dusty, could tell that Adam was
in trouble.
Yeah. You're like, control your breathing. Yeah. I remember hearing that. And then I got to the box jump overs, I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I was a mess. I was an absolute mess. Yeah. I got done with that. I collapsed on the ground. Laura came over and was like, usually Laura's pretty like direct in like, hey, good job, or, whatever, or, you could have done harder, or whatever. Yeah. But she's like, are you okay?
I've seen people, and also done it myself, where you send it in an open workout and then you immediately realize that you're in a world of hurt.
It's kind of like someone drowning and they're like going underwater.
Yeah. You're like, you're 100 meters offshore and you're like, if I swim as hard as I can make it back. And then you get a quarter of the way there, swimming as hard as you can. You're like, oh boy,
there's a mistake
lot left to go. I've done it. Really funny story. There was a workout. It was 27, 21, 15, 9 thrusters, or cow row and thrusters. So you're just talking just straight go. And
I hate the rower.
And so I had a friend of mine walked up and he was like, dude, there's this new pre-workout I bought and it's supposed to be really good for Metcons. And I was like, Metcon, for those of you listening, metabolic conditioning, it means like a conditioning piece, just straight conditioning. And so he goes, you should try it before. And this is when I was like trying to be super competitive. And I was like, I'll do whatever you tell me to do to try to get a competitive advantage.
Was this just a ton of caffeine?
So I don't know what I still to this day, I don't know what it was. I took a scoop of it and I had like a watch on to check my heart rate, but it wasn't like an Apple Watch at that point. But I look at my heart rate. I haven't started the workout. I'm at like 130.
Oh my gosh.
And I look to my,
that's insane. What's your resting heart rate? Like
50?
50?
Yeah. So I look at, and probably back then it was 40.
Yeah.
So I look at my coach that's about to judge me and I was like, my heart rate's at like 130 right now. And he was like, dude, you're not okay. And I was like, I know I'm not okay.
Get the AED.
So I'm all obviously amped up and I sprint the first 27 cows, like hammer down 27 thrusters. And I mean, legs locking up.
Yeah.
I'm totally, and just making it through the rest of that was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever done.
I imagine so.
I still to this, I had to do it one more time to try to better my score, which I did because I didn't have a starting heart rate of 130. But because of that imprint of my brain, if that workout ever came up for any reason, I would never do it again.
Yeah.
Just because but that's kind of what it's like. You have this added pressure. So the fun thing about CrossFit and what Adam just touched on is if your gym does it correctly, you can have this big group thing where you do teams or whatever it may be. And the goal is to get everybody in the gym on the same day, if possible, to do these workouts together and cheer everybody on.
Yeah.
So you run heats.
That's the best part.
That is the absolute best part. You usually have some dummy like me walking around, drinking a beer, cheering people on. Coaching sometimes in between the cheering.
Telling people to control their breathing.
Yeah, control your breathing. You're white. You're white as a ghost. You're not going to make it. So basically, oh crap, sorry, my watch is going off. So basically, where was I going with that? Oh, so anyway,
cheering each other on.
So cheering each other on. So in the past, we've drafted teams. Mm-hmm. The teams compete against each other. There's a scoring system. So the scoring system has been different from years past. I've been to other gyms that do it differently, but me and Adam are going to try to not reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
But do something a little easier to run through.
One, we don't have to draw lots to draft teams as individuals.
Yes.
That's tough.
Yeah, it is.
And they did a really good job of it. Yeah. Generally speaking, the teams were very competitive.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to try to keep everybody super competitive. We have an idea how to get people through it, like on teams.
Yeah.
Take some of the awkwardness of drafting and.
Yeah. So you're not picked last.
Yeah, you're not picked last, and because we would make fun of you immediately if you got picked last.
It's like dodgeball.
Yep. So exactly, like we're like, hey, loser. But I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So in the spirit of that, I just told a story. Let's talk about some of the fun open experiences we have to get people motivated. So I can kick it off. So I don't know if you remember this workout. It was several years ago. It was toes to bar, double unders, and squat cleans. Mm-hmm. So you did a certain amount of toes to bar, a certain amount of double unders, and then squat cleans, starting at a high rep range and a low weight. Uh-huh. Then you went to the next round.
I do remember
toes to bar, double unders, a heavier squat clean, less rep range.
Yeah.
And all the way to you got to 315 would have been the final bar, and I think it was like 3 or 5 at that weight.
Right.
So this is one of my favorite memories. So it went 135, 185, 225, 275, and then 315. Those were the squat cleans. I did it in Myrtle Beach. My friend Matt, you met him, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. Yep. So my friend Matt.
He's a character.
Yeah, he's a wild man. He's a wild boy. It was a feat of, if you weren't the top elite CrossFit athlete, getting through 275 made you like one of the top people.
Right.
Getting a shot at 315 was you were like the top of the heap. It just was what it was. So I roll through this workout, and everybody starts seeing like, Dusty's got a lot of time. Like, he can get through the 275 bar.
Yeah.
And you can almost see there's videos and pictures where Matt is realizing that I have enough time to clear the 275 squat cleans.
And these are all workouts. That's your wheelhouse. All those things you listed, that's that's Dusty workout.
I'm
right
good
there.
at this workout. Yeah. Even back then, like squat cleans I was good at.
Yeah.
I could lift heavy. So everybody's kind of like realizing like, oh, Dusty, like so you bank time. So every window that you finished, if you did it faster, like you got more time. Like, so time added onto the amount of time you could work. So I get to 275, and you can just feel Matt Sandberg, the energy rising up.
I bet.
So you can feel him.
It's always burbling at the top anyway.
He's getting excited. And then I hit the first squat clean to 275, and you can feel the intensity. I forget, it may have been 7 or 9, something like that. Maybe 5, 7, something like that. So I hit the first one, and you can just feel it. The intensity's rising. Then I hit the second one. Like, I take a break, I hit the second one, and you can just see him looking at the clock, looking at me, looking at the clock, looking at me. I hit the next one. He's getting more excited. And then, like, I start to have, like, 2 left, and the pictures, I'll have to show you one day. It's so funny. I'm in the middle of an actual open workout, lifting a barbell. He's closer than I am to you right now, screaming at me with a red face. Like, there's a picture where he's pointing at me, red in the face, screaming as I have a barbell on the bottom of the squat, trying to stand it up. So this is why the story to me is funny. So Matt is cheering me on, which is my favorite story of the Open. Like, he cheered me through 275. Like, he's part of the reason why I got through it. Yeah. So I feel like I'm on cloud 9. Then it starts sinking into my head, like, maybe I can hit a rep at 315. Mm-hmm. So if I get 1 rep at 315, I'm in the top 0.001% of all CrossFitters.
Right.
So I have time. So I do my toes to bar. I do my double unders. Everybody is losing their minds. I've made it to the 315 bar. Like, so everybody loads my weight.
What's your 1 rep max for that at that time? For squat?
I had hit, at that point, I probably had hit at least 325. So it was close to my max.
Yeah.
It was not like an easy lift.
Sure.
It was close to my max, if not 315 being my max. So I have a lot of time at the bar. So I'm like, well, it's pretty heavy. I better take my time.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it though. Like, I'm for sure going to get it. So nobody else is working out. Everybody's time capped. Everybody's surrounded around me. I'm the only person at 315. Matt is screaming his head off. I'm like, I have a minute or 2 minutes maybe. I'm just like, hey, everybody calm down. I'm just going to hit it one time, and I'm top. So everybody's just watching me stand around, and they're like, Dusty's about to hit it. So I'm finally like, all right. I like slap my legs. I like get all pumped up like the tough guy thing. I pick the bar up, and immediately, as soon as I picked it off the ground, I was like, no, I can't lift it. I can't lift it. So I immediately dropped it in front of 30 people, and everybody was like, oh.
Yeah.
So all that like huge excitement when I felt like I was top of the world, and then immediately just like crashing down in pure disappointment as they were like, oh, he didn't even try to get it. Like, didn't even try.
Well, sometimes you know.
Well, as soon as I've lifted it, like, when you've picked something up before, and you're like, there's not a chance, and I'll never get this.
Yeah.
If somebody helped me, I wouldn't get it. That's what I felt at that point. So that went like the greatest triumph to the saddest feeling, like all back to back in one workout. That's like one of my favorites.
So that's good. And how many did you have to do at the 315 if you were able to do it? Like 1 or 3?
I want to say it was 3 or 5.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe 275 was 7.
And you were just looking to hit 1 at least, and then call it good.
If you hit 1 at 3, like, I let the clock, like, it was only going to be 1. I let the clock whittle all the way down to like 10 seconds where I was like, I'm just going to hit 1 and be the hero of the world.
Because you've already got the exhaustion from the other stuff.
And I've already topped like there were guys way stronger than me that didn't finish 275. It's just a lot of work in a small amount of time. So I was like, I'm on top of the world. I'll hit this one time. I'll do a super cool guy, like sign off, and I'll walk out of the gym. So, but it didn't work out that way. Yeah.
Well, I don't have a cool story like that, but one year, so I remember that open that you described, that workout just now. And at that one, I still I couldn't string together toes to bar. Mm-hmm. I could do them, but I couldn't string any together.
Yep.
And in dubs, it was a nightmare. I still hadn't found it.
Yeah.
But it might have been the following year, or might have been 2 years later. We had wall walks and double unders and something else. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what it was specifically, but I was kind of pumped about it because I was like, okay, I can do wall walks. Yeah. I'm good at shoulder stuff.
Yeah.
I can wall walk. And dubs, I found it. I'm not letting it go. And then I'm on the first round. I do my wall walks. I grab the rope, catch my breath. All right, I'm going to start knocking out whatever the rep scheme was. And as soon as I jumped, and keep in mind, usually I'm a morning workout guy.
Yeah.
I'm an old man, so I get up early. But we were doing the open workouts at night, Friday night. Friday night lights is what we called it. Mm-hmm. And it was exciting because everybody was going to be there. So like, okay, I'll just defer the workout till Friday night. Mm-hmm. Well, my muscles weren't used to being that active on a Friday night. Mm-hmm. So I do the wall walks, shimmy up the last one, and then I grab the rope, jump up and down, and like 3 reps into my dubs, my calf just knots up.
I remember this.
Oh, my gosh. So I was just like, and your calf knots up, you're pretty much done for the open.
You cannot do anything.
No, you're done.
Yeah.
And I was able to string together like 2 or 3 one-legged double unders. And then I tried hopping down, just to thoroughly ruin that calf and just finish the job that was started by it knotting up. But then I was like, I can't do this anymore. As long as you do a couple of double unders, then that segment counts.
Yep.
So you're good to go, and then you can switch to single unders. And this goes to the scoring system. Mm-hmm. It rewards people that attempt to do the RX or the prescripted version of it, the hard thing.
Yeah.
Which is good. It makes you push it, and it's because you see that goal and you're like, okay, I think I can do this.
Yeah, that's right.
But it totally wrecked it, and that was probably one of my best chances to do okay in the open by age segment.
Yeah.
And let me go back on that. We talked a little bit about it, but the scoring system is by age category. So it's like young person to, what's the youngest for the normal? It's
12,
like 17,
12 or 13.
Oh 13. Yeah, there's that segment, and then but all the way up to what, 30 something?
Oh, you're just talking about the straight open division?
Yeah.
Open goes all the way up to 34.
34.
And then 35 or 30, 35 to 39, 40 to 44, 45 to 40, 45 to 50 or 49, and then 50 to, and then unlimited.
And I think I was going to turn 50. So for the Open's purposes, I was counted as 50. So it was several years ago. But anyway, bottom line is, it was like, okay, I think I'm going to be the man. I'm going to be pretty good because I can move okay for an old guy. I can score pretty good, even in the States or even worldwide for an old guy.
Yep.
And that was the first workout, wrecked it. And then of course the rest of them, I'm just hanging in there.
Just hobbling along with a calf.
That was awful. And I couldn't do dubs for a long time because of that. Yeah. And then when I felt okay enough to start trying them again, I kind of lost that cadence to do them successfully. And it took a couple of months. And then finally, all of a sudden, they just come back.
Yeah. Double unders are one of those weird things.
They're very weird.
I have a couple funny ones. Real quick, the first year they had wall walks. Do you remember Mabry, how confident he was when he walked in?
Yes.
And then realized immediately how difficult the wall walks were, and he was laying on the ground, like holding his shoulders.
Wall walks were a thing. That was like, if you can't do handstand push-ups, do wall walks. And then all of a sudden, it just becomes an event.
We used to do them as wall walks as like part of workouts, but they were never to that standard. The standard that they make them are very challenging.
Very, very challenging.
It's not easy. So like for you listening that don't know what a wall walk is, you start belly down on the floor with your feet touching a wall. And then just imagine walking your feet up the wall as your hands walk back, And then the finishing of the rep is a 10-inch line away from the wall, and your hands have to crest that 10-inch line, both of them, and then you have to walk back down to a full push-up position and then drop.
And it doesn't sound, 10 inches sound like it's pretty big, but when you're upside down.
Well, yeah, when you're trying to not fall down, it seems like it's the closest thing to the wall that you could possibly be.
And if your feet fall over, if you fall down, that rep doesn't count.
It does not count.
And you've worked all the way up there.
Yep. It's one of those, it's a brutal movement.
Yeah.
Me and Mabry were always, well, we weren't really if you're listening to Mabry, I would slaughter you everywhere open, but there were some workouts where he'd be closer than others. So we did a workout. He's obviously stronger than me, but my conditioning was better.
Yeah.
But I basically, he lost a bet to me in the open and has a tattoo with my name on it.
That's right. Dusty is the best.
But there was another, when I first got to CrossFit Invigorate, there was an open workout with clean and jerks, pistol. It started with maybe like box jumps and had pistols in it. And Mabry was like, I'm stronger. I'm going to win. The clean and jerks got really heavy at 275. And so I got to 275 and cleared it before him. And that's your tie break time when you finish the last barbell.
Yeah.
Mabry also finished 275, but neither of us could hit 315. So he said, we tied. And I would never let it live him down that I beat him at a strength workout because my tie break time was way faster than his.
Yeah.
And so like I never then I've retired. I'm done like competing.
Yeah.
I left on top.
He got a tattoo out of it.
He got a tattoo out of it. One of my favorite things in the open, and we can end on this kind of, this is probably so I love the competitive side of it. I love judging people that are competitive. It's a fun experience. Some people get stressed judging them because it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it. It's fun to watch them. They're going the fastest out of anybody, but they're in the reality. My favorite part of the open is when somebody who walks up to me and says, I'm going to scale this workout. Let's call it because of chest to bars.
Yeah.
And they're like, I can't do chest to bars. I'm going to scale it. And the conversation ensues. Well, your score is better if you can just get one chest to bar versus doing all these reps. And when you can push somebody to do something outside of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
And they I think it was Emily Mangrum.
I remember that.
She said she couldn't do a chest to bar. And I felt like I think you could do one.
Yeah.
Like maybe
at least one.
Maybe we make a big mistake and you can't do it. But I think she ended up getting like 20 or 30 of them.
Yeah.
But you could see that when she did the first one, she was like, what is going on? But everybody wants you to do it.
Right.
So everybody's so excited for you. And you're like, and because of so the easy thing to do, I'm not knocking anybody, but the easy thing to do is scale the workout.
Right.
Get a good workout in and do it. But in the reality, a lot of times the harder thing is only getting one rep. That's the harder thing to do.
And it's usually a mental block.
Because it's a mental block. It's embarrassing. Yeah. There's a lot of things tied up in it. But I love it when somebody's like, I've had people several years ago, there was a workout that started with muscle ups. And I was like, I'll stand here and reset the clock 100 times if you want to just attempt a muscle up. And then if you get one, we start the clock.
Yeah.
Or let the clock run. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I love that because that's like a personality trait of me personally that's outside of CrossFit. But like, if you do that thing that's really hard, that's scary, you don't think you can do it, it's embarrassing, you don't want to look stupid, all those things that are combined into one, and you do it in front of everybody. And I mean, it's like a huge deal to me. Like I get so, you've seen me.
Yeah.
I get crazy. Like I'm like in your face. I'm doing the Matt Sandberg to other people.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I'm doing the Matt Sandberg to other people, but that is the fun for me.
Yeah.
That is legitimately the fun. There's a lady that I coached in Pennsylvania. She texts me to this day. I haven't seen her in 7-8 years. She texts me every open. She's like, she's in her 70s now. She was in her 60s, I guess, at that point. And I stood there and made her do single toes to bar in a 20-minute workout where she only got toes to bar. It had like a bunch of other stuff, but she only got a certain amount of toes to bar.
Yeah.
But she scored really high in her age group.
Right.
And she'll text me every open and be like, remember that time you made me do that? She's like, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
But that's the fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
So, and it's a little different for everybody. Like maybe you can go a little harder. Maybe you can do something that's like out of your, you want to do good, but sometimes just throwing caution to the wind and letting it roll is the best way to do it.
It is fun. It's fun because you'll surprise yourself in that environment with the crowd cheering you on, the kind of the stress of being in a competition. Even though most of the people in the Open, they're not going to go to any kind of quarterfinals or anything like that. They're not going to compete internationally.
Yeah.
But there's still that threat of competition, and we do a good job at the gym here to build out a team that is even, so that all the teams are like there's going to be a competition between the teams.
Right.
And so you don't want to let down your teammates.
100%.
Like, hey, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to try to string together 2 toes to bar and just let her rip. If I can get 2 toes to bar, I win.
Yeah, that's right. And that is the thing. That is what we do, because measuring, like when I coach, you probably heard me say it a bunch of times, measurable and repeatable is like a huge thing in my vocabulary when I coach CrossFit. And measurable is that thing. Like, so like, how are we measuring how much better you're getting? Well, remember last year when you only got 1 toes to bar? Well, this year you got 50. Yeah. Like, so in terms of toes to bar, you're 50 times better than you were. And so those things are really important to me when I'm like coaching people or pushing them through that's why I do it. Because scaling stuff, the scale's different every year. Everything's different. Like, you never really know, but that should be the goal. Is you come in here, you're not just going to a Globo gym and just doing some bicep curls and walking out. Yeah. You're coming in here and you're literally learning skills. And the point would be to test those skills and see what you can do in the future. Right. So that's why I enjoy the heck out of it, even though I'm not doing it anymore. I mean, just being around it and coaching it. And that's why I wanted to run it with you this year. I think it's a blast. And that those skills, they're transferable because it is by definition functional fitness. Yep. And if you can do those things, a lot of people poke fun at the way CrossFitters do, let's say, pull-ups. And toes to bar, what are you doing there? What's that really doing? Well, it increases your cardiovascular efficiency, which is really, really important as you age. You're building muscle, which as you age, that muscle just starts disappearing pretty doggone quick. And that's huge for your health. And the mobility that you get from not a specific exercise, but just the exercise regimen at large, it's huge. There was the Make Wads Great Again guy. He's a meme giant. The guy memes, I love his memes. They're funny. And I can relate to him because we're about the same age. So usually he has a funny being old meme. Yeah. But he got into a little, I'd say a spat. That's how I'd characterize it with a guy. He's I don't know if he's a physical therapist or a chiropractor. Either way, something along those lines. Maybe a nutritionist. But it was making fun of CrossFit and then basically lambasting the older crowd that comes to CrossFit gyms. And that's a demographic that needs it just as much as the young people that want to be competitive. It is so valuable to be able to retain that mobility, that strength, continue to as I always joke in the gym, I'm just managing my decline. You want to keep that muscle mass built because that is an indicator of your health, or that is a leading indicator of your health. Big time. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I love it. I think that's a great point. And anybody can do it. And if you're listening to this and you're a member at CrossFit Invigorate, you need to sign up.
Please sign up. It is going to be fun.
It's going to be fun this year.
Are we ready to reveal the theme or
let's hold it. Let's hold it. I think we'll have to tell Caleb. Yeah, that's. We haven't told him, but I think
the general manager.
Yeah, the general manager. But let's hold it for another week. Yeah, and then we'll release it in some kind of funny way. Maybe we dress up in the style that we're talking about.
I think that could be in order. Yeah, I have to go shopping then.
So I think I know the place we can go shopping. But I just wanted to touch base on that because it is happening in a few weeks. Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll probably maybe me and you wear mics and do some talking for the Mishmash men when we're doing it.
That's something we ought to do because I've got portable mics now.
Yeah, we do have portable mics and we can do a little bit of recording as we're doing it. Maybe fun for Mishmash men or the RFTB channel in general. So this was fun. I thought it was topical because it's about to happen, and me and Adam are both going to be parts of it in a. I guess a judging capacity and a running it capacity. Yeah. So, but it's going to be fun. Look out for more content involving it, and maybe it makes you sign up for a CrossFit gym if you don't live here, somewhere else.
Yeah, please do.
Here. So
you'll enjoy it.
This has been super fun.
I enjoyed it.
I appreciate y'all. It's been a fun episode, and until next time, It's been Mishmash, man.
We'll see you.